Hello, everyone, and happy Sunday. And look us here, your two favorite aquas in the world, or not in the world, obviously.
Yes, in the world. No.
In the world, fine. Or at least in our world.
In our world, yes.
Georgio and Natalie in the house. Hello, everyone. We're back.
Hello, everyone.
How are you, Georgio?
Doing great. It's really cold today, I will say. Like, I almost feel like it should snow.
Really?
We had
Do you get a lot of
flurries.
snow?
Not typically, but like yesterday we were running some errands and it was flurrying a little bit. So it was a little
well, it is January. It is that time of year, right? So
I know, but it's been pretty warm, so it's a little jarring when it's just like that cold.
I know. You're like, I can't take it. My skin can't take it.
No.
My
How are
skin
you doing?
can't take
How was the weekend?
The weekend was busy as always. Today has been fun because our little video. So I edited our parts of our live.
Yep.
We're talking about Harry and Meghan and his book, and it's just blown up on TikTok. So the whole day, me and my kids have been like on TikTok reading the comments. Just my kids were like, "Oh my god, you've got trolls! You've got like, oh, trolls are welcome. The door is open for everyone. You know, if you want to troll, you can troll. That's fine." But it was so exciting, and especially seeing my daughter, who's a gamer, and she's got TikTok, and she's got a lot more followers than I do. I can tell you guys. She's doing great on TikTok. She knows how to use it.
Well, you're well on your way.
Well, see. I mean, let's see. I need to say TikTok humble right now. TikTok humble, you know. But obviously, it just shows you that there is a huge interest in Harry and Meghan, and a lot of people. And if you look at the comments down below the video on TikTok, you'll see most people are against Harry and Meghan and against what they're doing and against the fact that they just isolate themselves from both their families. So it's interesting.
It is. It's not been whatever they've done. I feel like it just hasn't landed.
No, not at all. And it's the way they've done it, right? It's just pushing and pushing and pushing for their brand, for their story, the whinging. It would be so nice. You did their Oprah, and we won't talk about this today, but they did their Oprah. Then they should have stayed quiet and then just push their own charity work and their own work.
Agreed.
And leave it at that. And then people would be happy with that at least.
At least wait for the dust. At least wait for the dust to settle.
Absolutely.
You know, give people a chance to like really absorb and process it. Just a lot of stuff going on, you know?
Agree. But we'll see how that pans out in the end. So let's say hello to the chat.
Hello.
Hi, Issa.
Hi,
hello,
Issa.
hello. Happy Sunday. She said she just watched Me Miss Cleo. I'm excited to talk about this actually. Don't forget. Yes, thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe the video. And also don't forget to head on over to Georgio's channel. Everything is down below as you can see here, and give him a follow and like his videos too. We're trying to get him to 1,000 subs so he can start doing lives as well. So
cute. Yes, it's been a journey.
Oh, there you go. Issa's on it as well.
Thank you,
there you go. Thank you, Issa. Thank you to my lovely, lovely mods. And here is Gabby as well. Who else is in the chat?
Gabby.
Hello, TJ. Who else is? Of course, Ari January's in the house. Another Aqua.
Ari. Yes, Aqua fam.
Love it. And this is our month after all. This is Aqua season. Mars and Mercury retrograde. Good point, like mission.
That is very true.
Good point. It will be appreciated in the future, in my opinion, when the divorce comes out. But there you go. That's my own opinion. Don't go after me like you did on TikTok. Okay. But it doesn't bother me. People were like, I loved, okay, I have to say this. There was one comment and she said, out of all the fake psychics, you're the fakest of them all. And I'm like, are you the psychic? And my reply, are you the psychic police? I'm like, just because you don't agree with what I'm saying does not make me fake. But thank you for distinguishing that I'm the fakest of the fakes.
Let me guess. There was a profile picture of a cat, a little cartoon face, or something like that.
Probably.
Yeah, it's always one of those people like that.
Isn't that? There's always that one, you know. Call me now, right light vision. Call
I
us
have
now.
a really funny story about this Miss Cleo thing. It's so nostalgic. I actually purchased a Miss Cleo. It was like a boxed set with her own tarot card set.
Oh.
And like I think it had like some other stuff. It was a big deal because she was like selling all kinds of stuff back then.
She
like
was a
anything.
big personality.
Like
I mean,
they sold her name. They put her name on a lot of stuff.
And she made nothing.
I know.
That's the sad part. Which though kept her out of jail. Because thankfully, because can you imagine if, you know, she had received some kind of bonus or something, she would have been in trouble. But she did end up dying, not broke, but not rich, though. She made other people very, very rich, which is sad. But I want to say hello to Tiffany and welcome to the channel. Welcome to the family. Oh, thank you.
Welcome.
Oh, it's nice to have new family members in our channel.
That's right.
Oh, oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah. Well, listen, people. Of course, there's skeptics out there that don't believe in psychics,
of course,
and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. And I don't mind it. I do have a thick skin. So, but what I do mind is that people, you know, they just, I don't, it doesn't really bother me that much. But what we do notice on social media is that people are combative. Like a lot of times they'll just troll you just for the sake of trolling. If you've got something, you know, constructive to say, even if it's mean or even if it's not kind, let's just say it. But if it's not constructive, shut up.
Oh, please. Please.
And look who's in. Jeff. Hi.
He's got his hand over his face because of my story about Miss Cleo's tarot card set that I bought when she was hot. Hot on the press.
Yeah, she was hot on the press. Right. The sound is still a bit off, but we still met. Is it? Oh, I'm so sorry. You know what? It's probably just get rid of my odds. Okay, and hopefully it's working now better. Let me know, guys, if it's audio is doing okay. Let's see if that works. I promise. Hopefully, I will be by next Sunday. I will be all sorted out with my new equipment, so we won't have these technical issues. But then again, it is retro shade season, guys. Let me remind you that yes, Mars did go, or Mercury, sorry, did go direct on the 12th of January, but we still have a week of the retro shade season or retrograde, not season, period, which is very, very intense. So that is what is going to, so it doesn't mean that we're out of the woods. So be careful still, or we will have more travel disruptions, I feel, you know, when that happened in the States, in the US, right? When the systems just.
Yeah, it was so strange.
Oh, I can't hear you for some reason. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Issues as always. Sorry about this, guys. Let me check. Okay, I think it should work now.
Can you hear me?
Oh no, I can't hear you. Oh, what happened? No. Sorry, guys. Another technical issue. That's what happens when you go live.
Should I leave and come back?
I still can't hear. Okay, let me drop myself. I'll come back. I'll be
Guys, can you hear me in the chat?
okay. Try it.
Can you hear me?
No. All right. Okay. I don't know what's happening here, guys. I'm trying.
Is your Zoom still connected to your AirPods?
Give me a minute. Sorry about this. It should work, but I don't know what's going on.
What about now?
Yeah, everyone else can hear you except me. Unfortunately, that's not very helpful. So I will have to come out. I'll be back in a second. Sorry about this, guys. I'll be right back. Is it working? I don't know. Say something.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay. That's it. We're back. We're back. Sorry about that. That's what happens when you live stream anything during Retro Shade. Anything can happen. Right. We're ready, I think, to start. So we're going to be talking today about Call Me Miss Cleo. I want to show you because I loved the creative of the documentary. I think it's very retro, very iconic, very Call Me Miss Cleo, and it's pink. Just saying. You know, I love pink. So who is Call Me Miss Cleo? For anyone who doesn't know, because maybe outside the US are not, not familiar of Miss Cleo. Do you wanna since you were a big fan and you bought her?
So for people who are not familiar, it was in the 90s, I would say, where the psychic network, it was called the psychic network and friends or something to that degree, where
Psychic Readers Network.
Yeah, something like that, where it was basically you would call a number and they would route you to someone who was allegedly psychic, and they would sell it to you like it's, $3 a minute, but these people transform your life. They'll tell you that if your spouse is cheating on you. And I mean, and then Miss Cleo became popular around that time. She was also part of the network, but then they kind of framed a whole network around Miss Cleo because she had her own, like they created like little infomercials. And usually late at night, it would be like a 10-minute infomercial of her doing like live readings. And she would be very like, they would call him like, I just want to know what I'm supposed to do with my career. And she was like, I can't really focus on that, dear, because I see someone is leaving you. Who is that? And she would do that, and people would just get so sucked in. And you can just tell by my excitement, because it was just so entertaining, because she would do these like live readings or whatever. And most of the time, it came out that they were not all real psychics. And so she kind of went down a rabbit hole of allegations herself and all that stuff, which is what this documentary kind of covers. But yeah, she was very popular, and so much so that they basically licensed, the Miss Cleo brand to anything that they could stick it to. And I think they made, millions and millions and millions of dollars off people.
Yeah.
Just off of that alone.
Fun fact, when I started reading tarot for other people, when I was like in my teens, I was just like Miss Cleo. I did not filter anything. I was like, I was like so friggin' blunt. Okay, but in time and with experience, I learned how to maybe sort of break certain views in a different way. Sometimes I will be blunt still. Like if I see, if I see something like it happened recently where someone was like, yeah, and I want to like she was asking me about her boyfriend, and then I was like, yeah, but why do I feel like you're married? Why you're married? And like I was telling myself, right, and come out and tell her that. And then at some point she said, towards the end, she's like, oh, do we have time for one more question? And I'm like, do you want to ask me about your husband, about your marriage? She freaked out. That was a Cleo moment. I was just like, come on, 55 minutes you've been going around it and you've been asking me. I'm a psychic, remember, I know what's going on. So I feel for Cleo and I love her style. Used to be me.
Holy moly, Miss
Cleo.
Miss Cleo was the jam, though. I mean, I think she was just an entertaining person in general. She was made definitely for TV. I don't care like what background you put her in, but she definitely was like the hit of the like mid to late 90s, early 2000s, I would say.
Yeah, I think it was 1997 to early 2000s, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But everyone saying it was cool at the time, wasn't it?
It was.
She was an icon. Like she was iconic. And I know that she appropriated the Jamaican accent, which is a big thing. But at the time, you needed to be a stereotype in a sense in order for you to be liked or to be successful. That's the sad part of it.
I think the truth too, which they kind of cover in the documentary, is they kind of forced her into this like box of, like Jamaican, really like exotic, blunt, and I think they just created a caricature of what Miss Cleo is, but that's not who she was. Because when you watch it, obviously you're like, she's a very much more. She's a Leo too, which is interesting. She was birthday's August 12th, so
I saw it and I was like, wow, but that was such a typical, she is a typical Leo. Like she's got that energy, like this like larger than life energy that she had, that she was captivating, all that. So she was like a typical Leo. And I loved, the surprise to me was the fact that, here's the thing, I watched the documentary and then I went back and did my own research a little bit because, you want to see whether the documentary was biased, I just want, because I can tell you what I was feeling or what I was picking up. And someone, where is it? What was it like? I want to bring it up because she says, if it's not too draining on you, would you be able to connect with Miss Cleo's spirit directly at the end to hear from her? You know what? I've been toying with that idea all day because I watched the documentary last night and I felt her a lot. Okay. And I did feel a lot. Look, I've got goosebumps now. If only my skin, but I've got goosebumps because she just touched me. Now, I don't normally channel celebrities live. It's very difficult because we've got Georgio here. Yeah. Georgio and I are very connected anyways. And then I've got the chat. So it's everyone's energy that is kind of interfering. But she is here, I've got to say. All right. She is here and I do feel her energy. Now, I want to finish what I want to say before, and then I'll tell you what she's giving me. So the surprising part of the documentary was that she came out late in life, that she was gay, and that she became an activist for gay rights. But I did some research and I read that she had 2 daughters that she birthed when she was 19 and 21.
Oh, wow.
There is no information as to where the daughters are because we didn't see them in documentary. We saw the godsons, right? We didn't see her children. And there's no word or any trace of where those girls are, well, women now, and who their dad was. This is fascinating.
I didn't even know that.
Okay, I've got to tell, okay. This is what's coming through. So, and this came through to me last night too. So they didn't talk about her past because they don't know her past that much, and especially like they've got different stories.
They're not connecting, yeah.
Now, before I even got to that part of the documentary where one of her closest friends, and I think her roommate at the time, they said that she was essayed. I have to be careful what I say on YouTube because otherwise I get a strike. So that she was abused, right? And I felt that even before I got to that part of the documentary. Now, while I was telling you about her daughters, she said to me that, because I said, who is the father? She said, it's the same dad, but it was again essay. So it was a forced act, okay, towards her. And she was 19 when it first happened, and then it happened again almost a year after. So a few months after she gave birth to her first daughter. Where are her daughters? She's saying that they're not adopted per se, but she knows, like she knew where they went. Okay, someone was looking after them, but it wasn't her. So it was someone else, but she could see them. She could write to them letters and stuff like that. What I'm getting, which is really sad.
Yeah.
But she is also saying that she never wanted to be a mom because she didn't have that maternal streak because of what happened to her as a child. She went through a lot of trauma. Now, I'm sure a lot of the okay, a good question I'll ask her. Now, the other point that's coming through, and funnily is I did make some notes, but I don't need them because I've got Cleo. So what was it going to help me, Cleo? What was I about to say? Because we're going back to the past. She's showing me. And I lost my trail of thought, guys. I'm sorry. I'm asking her to help me. Oh yeah, she said that she didn't want to be a mom because she didn't have that maternal streak because of the trauma that she experienced as a child. The trauma was ongoing for years, and part of the reason why she never spoke about her past was to protect her family members, and her two daughters, which is probably why they didn't appear in the documentary, right?
That's what I was going to say. They probably left it out just out of respect.
Probably. Who knows? Or maybe.
Hopefully.
Maybe people don't know. Renee says my audio comes in and out. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know how to fix it. Like I've tried with the pods, wearing ear pods. I don't know what to do. Definitely once I change the whole equipment, I feel this will be resolved. So be patient, guys. Sorry about that.
It's not that bad.
Okay, good. Do you think the family had some money? Well, I don't know. She's not saying, but I would assume so. She went to boarding school. She went to a private school, and she had a good education.
So they were comfortable, at least.
Yeah, everyone's saying Mercury retrograde. So another fun fact. So before we came on, I have my little Labradorite heart here that I place on top of my deck. It's just it's not protective, but it's just Labradorite, just completely. It's a very powerful stone. It connects you with your higher self, with spirit. And I was just holding it in my hand, and I was like, "Oh, Cleo liked blue." Like she told me that she liked the color blue. She liked the color green. And I said, "Oh, so is Labradorite your favorite?" And she said, "No, carnelian." So carnelian was her favorite crystal.
Wow.
The other piece of information that I got while I was watching it, not now, but while I was watching it, was even before I got to that point, because we start off the documentary with these people from her theater group that they said she scammed us. Like, she never paid us. She took the check and ran, never heard from her. The first thing that came to me when I saw that was like, she's been through trauma. And then when her friend or her roommate was saying, remember that when they were saying that she would change voices and her body posture would change and she would speak in different like accents and voices?
Yeah.
And they claim that's because of trauma, they say that that's probably a reaction to trauma. I do believe, and she's validating it now, I do believe that she was born psychic. She was born with an immense gift. She was very gifted, but she wasn't aware of it per se because of the trauma and because of the childhood that she had. And it's almost like everything came together. And this is what I keep telling everyone. And I tell you all that, guys, no matter what, everything will lead. Every path will lead you to where you're meant to be. No matter what you do, doesn't matter. You'll get there. And this is what happened with Cleo. Because remember, they kept changing. They kept replacing these psychics.
Yeah.
And then one day she had this idea and they said, well, let's do a test run. Let's try it. And she was so captivating and so engaging and she became Miss Cleo. And that she said that's when she realized that she was gifted. The whole voodoo priestess and all that, she said that was part of her persona. That's part of her brand. She had nothing to do with voodoo, but she was very intuitive, very psychic, and it's like boom. She had her awakening when she started doing not the infomercials, but the psychic hotlines, basically. So I don't know if you want to ask me anything else. Because I'm giving also Cleo some time to send me some information. She has a grandson, she says, because I'm being seen. So one of her daughters has a boy. He's young, so he's 7 or 8.
Wow.
And he's very gifted too, she's saying. And he's around him a lot. So the little boy can feel his grandmother. They never met, but they're very connected. That's what I'm getting.
Wow, what a treat this is. Miss Cleo's on our live. Thank you, Miss Cleo.
Because I was asking her since yesterday, I'm like, do you want to come on? Do you want to do it? I don't know if I want to do it on live. I'm like, I don't know if I don't want the wires to cross because of everyone. And she's here. She's got very strong personality. She's got a Leo personality, like a Whitney Houston kind of
I feel like that's why your audio issues are more in imbalance because of the in and out of your audio. I think it's because of her presence.
Probably. Could be interfering with microphones.
It's not to blame her. I'm just saying the interference could be coming from the energy.
The other thing is, I just asked her because I said, oh my God, Cleo, 53 years old, 52 is too young, for you to pass. And colon cancer now, because she had started off as colon cancer and then metastasized. But nowadays, colon cancer, you don't die from it, right? It's one of the most treatable cancers, as well as the thyroid cancer. And I'm like, oh my God, Cleo, she's like, it was my time. It was my time to go. And actually, she said that was her. You remember that I've said that we all have 5 exit points. So we choose which exit point we want to take to cross over to leave this world. And she had her first one when she was 17, saying that she had an near-death experience, let's just say. She nearly died at the age of 17, something that people are not aware of. So, by the way, something random, because she's laughing because I said it, Georgio. Remember there was a guy in the documentary. I don't know how long ago you watched it. He was one of the guys that worked with her at the psychic network thing. Psychic, whatever it's called. Psychic and network. Psychic Readers Network. And this guy, guys, reminded me of Chandler from Friends.
Oh, I do remember a little bit. Yeah, it was a while. I think it was a ways back, but I know I know who you're talking about.
I should have screenshot because like even his mannerisms and his body language, he looked like Chandler, like what he would look like now if Friends was on now and they were like 55 years old, 50, 55. It was crazy. So very random, but she's laughing. She liked that. Let's see the chats. Yeah, I was scared of it too. So you know what? The best way to help your son, TJ, is really acknowledge the fact that he does have a gift. You don't need to talk about it. My son has a gift too. And he's totally scared because he sees like he's got spirits around him all the time. So sleep nights are difficult. He has 2 night lights in his room. It's just a mess. We need to tell him a bedtime story every time just to allow for his mind to sort of slip away and just go more into the stories that we tell him rather than what's going on. And the best way to do is don't push it. Don't keep reminding your son that he's got a gift and that's what he's doing, because you need to give him the space, and he needs the space. I don't know how old he is as well, but he needs the space to figure his gift out and what is going on. But what you can do is acknowledge the fact that your son is gifted and has these abilities, and just encourage him to express himself and to experiment with different, maybe divination tools, to figure out what works for him, and for him to feel like he can control it. So the more you practice, the more you work on your gift, the more you can figure out what the on and off button is, the switch, which took me a long time to figure out. And that's why I freaked out in my 20s and I said, block, block, block. I don't know. I'm going to drink myself through my 20s because I don't want to hear or see these spirits. And I don't want to know what's going to happen, because in my 20s, my gift was so crazy. I could predict crazy things accurately, random things. It was crazy. So my mom would write down my predictions. She's like, Natalie said blah blah blah, and she will write them down, and well, my mom is very egocentric. It was more for her to brag to her
of
friends
course
than anything. But I'm just saying that's one way of helping.
Looks like we got some questions for Miss Cleo from Light Mission.
Then Gabby's got one as well. Hold on, we'll get to Gabby's. What are her thoughts on everyone to be a psychic now? There's a huge new age wave now. She's fine with her perception, actually. She's absolutely. She was fine with it even when she passed. What she doesn't like is that, of course, the 2 owners of the Psychic Friends Network, whatever it's called, monetized and took advantage, not just her, but the other psychics or the other people that acted as psychics, and other people too. She said there were accountants, they were like like people who did administration work. Everyone was fooled, everyone was conned, everyone was underpaid. So she actually she's actually proud of she's left a heritage behind. Like, there's a Cleo heritage, right? And she's proud. And she's saying everyone to be psychic now. She's like, oh no, she absolutely loves. Okay, here she's saying she's got a sense of humor. She's very blunt. One thing she says, well, I was born and I became famous at the right time, because if there were that many psychics like there are now, no one would have remembered Miss Cleo.
Oh, that's true.
That's what she's saying. So the timing was perfect for her. And she's saying that it's not that everyone wants to be a psychic. She's saying everyone is psychic. It's just because the vibration and the collective consciousness is changing.
Yeah.
It's just people are just realizing or are more in tune with their psychic abilities now more than ever. That's what she's saying. Of course, there are scammers out there. And by the way, I have linked down below a video that I've done where I am talking about psychic scams and how to protect yourself and how to detect and how to recognize like a scammer. So if you want, you can watch that afterwards, because there are a lot of interesting things about, and also techniques and stuff that psychics do or fake psychics do to fool their clients, to fool people. Watch that afterwards. Gabby is asking, or advice for us gifted people. So, Gabrielle, she really likes you, by the way. She really resonates with your, like, she really connects with your energy, Cleo. Miss Cleo is Leo, and Gabby is a Libra, by the way. So what she's saying is keep putting the word out. She's saying social media is our friend for all of us, for all psychics, for anyone, for readers, light workers, etc. Social media is our friend. Put the word out. Normalize it, because people are still afraid of psychics. Bless you.
Thank you.
They're still afraid of psychics. They still don't, they don't know how to categorize psychics, which is why a lot of people call us scammers and they attack us. She's like, awareness, just put yourself out there. Don't be afraid. That times have changed. That's what she's saying. And times will change even more. And a lot more people will come out as psychic, as a healer, as shamans, whatever it is. Okay. What else? Situation cause you psychic gifts. Yes, it can. Absolutely can. It can actually blow up your gifts. It can actually really amplify your gifts after trauma. And that's why it's no coincidence. A lot of people that have had their spiritual awakening, they've had their spiritual awakening after the loss of a loved one or after a traumatic situation. So yes, it does. It just shakes you to the core. You start asking the right questions, because what is it? The awakening and connecting to spirit or your spiritual side is about asking the right questions. If you ask the right questions, you will get the answers. So, let's see. Aquarius motto, I know instead of I believe, like age Pisces. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And we're going through the age of Aquarius right now. So expect a lot of craziness and a lot of things. Again, I'm going to bring up the topic of the aliens, Up until recently, we were all like, we're not going to talk about aliens because people are going to think we're cuckoo, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But now more and more people, the mainstream media even, are more open discussing aliens and the fact that there is alien life out there and has been on Earth too. So this is the age of Aquarius.
I think we're at a place where things are going to reveal themselves. We see that happening with other things. If we just, look at the news, or you look at pop culture, or things are either being called out that were never called out before. Like Natalie said about the aliens, it's not that they exist, that there's even different like races of aliens and where their lineages come from and how they're all connected. So that's becoming more of a conversation as well. So I just think everyone collectively is more open-minded.
Right, exactly. A lot more open-minded and more people want answers. Again, it's about asking the right questions, and more people are now starting to ask the right questions, which makes them open.
Yeah.
It makes them open to receive whatever it's out there without having, without those limiting beliefs, really, that we've all it's all ingrained in us.
Mm-hmm.
I want to address Ari January, because you think this is a very I love the fact that you brought it up, because this is something that really bothers me a lot of times, is that I want to say one thing. A lot of people who've got schizophrenia, right? They are not yeah, they're not wired like everyone else. Okay. But they are closer to spirit and the other side than we are. Spiritually, mentally, energetically. So it bothers me that instantly we stigmatize, or there's a stigma about people with mental health issues or mental illnesses, such as schizophrenia. Because we should listen to these people because, they say, oh, I hear voices. Yeah, I hear voices too, but not in that way. But these are spirits, and I'm receiving stuff. Maybe they're receiving things as well. Maybe the voice they're hearing is their guides or deceased loved ones because they are so open. And usually, people with mental illness, with exceptions, obviously, they are very pure at heart because they don't function. They're not wired the same way as we are. So we should listen to them. And we shouldn't brand everything as a mental illness. That's wrong, in my opinion. So if you have spiritual gifts, I would love to answer your question. You know what? Email me. Send me a pic, Ari January, and then I'll read your energy. Send me your photo and I'll answer that for you. Uncanny. We will look into that. I don't know if Georgia, if I miss anything, my perspective beliefs, and I start seeing and hearing stuff for the first time. You have to open up. Everyone has to open up. Giorgio, for instance, okay, if you ask him if he is psychic or if he's intuitive, what would your answer be?
I'm definitely intuitive for sure.
Thank you. Yeah.
But I think that's because, like, to your earlier point, you get something a little bit more unlocked when you have something traumatic shake you to your core. So I think in the last 3 years, it's become a little bit more clear to me that these weren't just like random feelings that I was getting. It was like, oh no, this is connected to things.
And you are, because from the first moment we met, I picked up that you were very intuitive, but you were a bit shy about it. You were shy, to admit it to yourself and to others as well. But I feel since then maybe it helps that we talk and that we're friends.
Yeah, I mean,
you're more open,
Well, it helps that it's not like this. I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't go around telling everyone, but that's because it's not been part of my package, if you will, so it just almost feels like, oh, where did that come from, kind of thing. But it's nice that I'm leaning into it for personal reasons, specifically because it's helping me feel more confident in a lot of ways.
She's saying, Gabby, she's saying not your grandmother, but your ancestors. She's with your ancestors now. She's saying that, was it a great grandmother or a great aunt that you have, that she was very intuitive, but she was also into some kind of rituals and magic. Well, white magic, okay? Not black magic, white magic. And she's saying very connected with her side as well. Interesting. B. Oh, right.
Wow.
I know. See, it have a lot of people. I've had clients who come to me for readings who have lost children, which is very hard for me to do these readings. But of course, it's part of my job, and I want to help them. And a lot of them, after they've lost a child, suddenly developed some kind of gift, whether it is seeing auras and energy, okay? Or some of them, I have one that she says that her dreams, like her dreams are omens. She can dream something that will happen within 1 or 2 days later, but to the T, exactly as she dreamt it. So trauma does, not unfortunately, but trauma will do that. Yeah.
Wow. Gabby says yes. Great grandmother, yes, is true.
Oh, okay. see if I'm missing anything. I want to see what Cleo is saying. I'm feeling lightheaded a lot. So Cleo is telling me, because I asked her, I'm like, why am I lightheaded? Did you like smoke weed, or was there something that, because sometimes I will feel how they felt physically most like in their everyday life, right? They make me feel that way because I do absorb their energy. And she's like, no, not weed. Like, yes, sometimes, but it wasn't her thing. She would drink um some kind of a concoction. Blah, I can't say
Concoction.
that word. Thank you. Yeah, you said it for me. um with herbs it's not ayahuasca, but it did give you sort of that mild hallucinogenic
Kind of like
feeling.
shrooms.
Yeah, like some kind of shrooms. It wasn't shrooms though. It was just like different kind of herbs that she had, and she would make a tea, and this was one way. This was her way of connecting very much to spirit, okay, but on a much, not for readings, but on a much more personal connection, a much more personal connection. And also because she was haunted, but what she says were demons, or what she thought were demons, or what she thought, but it wasn't. It was fragmented. She's saying there were fragmented memories of what happened to her as a child when she was,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
mistreated. And because her brain to protect her just almost erased a lot of the details, or a lot of that. So, and it would come back at her as adults, and at first she thought they were like demons, like she really thought there was something really wrong with her, so she started drinking these herbs to help her. But now in hindsight, because she's on the other side, she says it was just these memories trying to pop back in, just to tell her what was going on.
Wow, that's so crazy.
I know.
That's interesting though, because yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Grounding is important for psychics. Intuitive, we operate in our higher chakras a lot. So absolutely, grounding is key. That's why as soon as I'm done with my readings at the end of the day, or when I'm done doing readings, when I do them on YouTube, I go and take a shower, or because shower is very grounding, or I normally eat. That's why I've gained weight, because eating grounds you. It does. Tortoises will love that. I say that, but it's true. Food grounds you. It does. So that's what I do. Like, not sometimes I'll just, lie down and eat because I need something to like bring me back and ground me. Otherwise, I'll wake up the next day. If I don't ground myself, or if I don't close the um the circle, because I open a circle when I start reading. There's a little ritual that I do, and then I have to close. Sometimes if I'm in a hurry or it's too late, I might not skip that. Not a good idea, because the next day I wake up with migraines. I feel completely depleted. My energy is depleted. So I highly suggest that you guys have a little ritual, opening and close if you read tarot or if you're a psychic. And also don't forget to ground yourself no matter what. Yeah, thank you, Gabrielle. We also have Discord. A reminder, we have a channel there called Femmily Hangout, where we hang out and we talk about, we exchange information. You can ask anything. There's a lot of stuff going on there. I'm not all the time there, I must admit, but Gabrielle and Isa are. And if there's anything that needs my attention, they will let me know. So you can also use Discord to contact me. All right. Oh, hey, Zesty. Hey.
Hi, Zesty.
Let's see. What am I missing? What else about Cleo? I want to see if she wants to come in and share with us something else. She says that she was a poet. She loved poetry. She was a big poet. She wrote poems a lot. So I asked her, I'm like, what did you like? Did you want to become an author or a poet when you were younger? She was like, no, I had no aspirations when I was young, because I was just in survival mode. So she did not have a pleasant childhood. She's saying, don't get me wrong, there were good moments, there were pleasant and joyful moments in her childhood, but there was, and she won't even share with me, guys. All I can tell you and all she's sharing with me, I see a male, a relative, but a close relative, okay, that not just you know, did what he did, but also he like bullied her, but not in the bully sense of the word, but like he would intimidate her. Like he would intimidate her just to keep her under control, which is very sad. All Light Mission says that she bell to open close rituals. It also repels lower vibrational energies. That's another way of doing it. Everyone, you've got to figure out what works for you. I know well-known psychic mediums that I've had on my channel before that they said that they got a special necklace, a crystal necklace that they wear when they start the session, remove when they end the session. Every little ritual. I've got my candle. I've always got a white candle, and then there's a little prayer and a blessing that I say when I start, and then in the end as well. And I also shoo all the spirits away when I'm done. I'm like, shoo, you can go back home now. Bye-bye. I'm done. I don't want you around.
Oh my goodness.
Oh God, Gabrielle's on the door. A man, not a good man. Now? Gabby, now? Is this happening now? All right, don't freak out. This is because you've opened up, because probably Cleo. I'll send Cleo your way to help you out. Okay. All right. You know what? You've got to tell this man that they're not allowed. They don't have your permission to come into your space. They should leave now. Grab your smudge, your sage, and then take some salt and then just place it in front of the door. That's a protection. If you feel that that's not a good entity, then do what I say. But you know what?
There was an image of the past for her.
Oh, okay. I thought you had someone there too. Yeah, that's what I feel too. Like a memory, right? I don't know, guys. Is there anything else you want to ask her? Because otherwise, I will let her go. I don't know if someone asked it or it's just something that she's telling me or she's answering someone if she's going to come back, if she's going to reincarnate. The question is yes, she will. Not yet, but in a few years. And she's going to come back as a celebrity again, but this time not as Miss Cleo or not as a psychic, but she said that she wants to come back and do a lot of work and help the collective through this ascension that we're all going through. She's going to come back, and again, she's going to be like an influencer. She's going to be someone that people look up to and she will influence, but not at all as Miss Cleo. Different culture, different background, different everything, she's saying. And I'm asking her, are you going to be a male or a female? She's like, I'm coming back as a female. I enjoyed it.
Wow.
Regardless. Yeah. I feel that she doesn't like men at all, I have to say. And I don't blame her.
I was going to say, well.
Because the other thing is that she's saying that she didn't realize she was a lesbian until later in life. And I asked her, were you sexual, or was that part of did you become a lesbian because of what happened to you, because males hurt you? And she said she didn't realize that, but yes, she didn't want to have relationships with men. She did not see them that way. She did not want to. So she said, and she was definitely not asexual. So she did like to have sex. So she did have sexual drive. So she said the best option was women. She felt safer. She felt that because she needed more of that feminine maternal energy that women.
That makes sense.
It's interesting.
Wow.
Right?
This is crazy, guys.
Oh, that's a good question. What is Cleo's mission work on the other side? She's working I feel like she liked nature a lot. I don't know if she was around nature, but I do see her around plants. Like her plants, and she's in nature. So she's surrounded by plants and trees, and it's green. As I said before, green and blue were her favorite colors. Even though she wore a lot of orange and red, if you saw, like in the on TV,
Yeah.
those blue and green were her colors or her favorite colors. And so she's saying she's working with nature, with plants, and her mission is basically to come back. Like, she wants to come back. She wants a fresh start, and she deserves it.
Wow, this is so great.
Wasn't it?
Yes, this is amazing that we got to have this experience with Cleo showing up to the live like this. I was not
I knew she
expecting that.
would. I knew she would, but I didn't know if I wanted her to. You know what I mean? Because I'm like,
A
it's
lot of
also
energy.
hard on a live. But she's making it very easy for me. Sometimes they make it very hard. She makes it very easy. She has a message for Kate. Why do I want to say Kate? So her ex-girlfriend, not the one we saw in the documentary. She was with someone else before she passed, with another woman. If I can hear
I think
clearly.
they identify as Matt now, the first one that you're referring to.
No, I mean the last one, the one the not the very was Matt. Matt was her first relation. No, I'm talking about the last before she passed. So before she passed, just before she got sick, she was in a relationship with someone. Kate sounds like Kate. I don't know if you're looking into that to see. So she has a message for her because she's sick. She's saying that she's Kate or her ex-girlfriend, her girlfriend. She's saying, I don't know if she ever sees this. Let's hope. She's saying, I know you're afraid. I know you're thinking of me. Dream of me every night because that's me. I'm there. I'm there to hold your hand. I'm there to show you how much I love you. I'm there to tell you that I miss you. Don't be afraid. Don't let go. I know you want to let go, but don't let go. You still have some time. There's a heart-shaped box, jewelry box of some kind. Well, it looks like a jewelry box that she has that Cleo gave her. But her girlfriend never called her Cleo, by the way. Only I think one of her girlfriends, the one on the documentary, called her Cleo. The others didn't. They called her with an H. Um, here or he's or something like that. Yeah. So back to the heart-shaped sort of jewelry box, or it's like a box that it's used for jewelry to put the rings and stuff. There is a ring there. And she's removed it because she's very swollen because she's sick and she's not wearing any jewelry. And she's saying that she wants her to wear that ring back whenever she can, because that's a ring that Cleo gave her. Okay. And there is the energy on that ring. I feel that it's almost like Cleo blessed that ring. There's such a magical energy. So she wants her girlfriend, to either hold the ring in her hand or wear it if possible. But I don't feel it's possible because I feel like because of her illness, she can't, because of the energy is going to make her feel better. She says the vibrations of the ring is going to make her feel better. So hopefully, if anyone, let's hope the YouTube gods,
Yeah, let's hope the algorithm puts this in the right place.
Exactly. So I think with that, we'll just wrap it up.
Yeah.
She's very grateful. She's got a huge smile. She's got a really lovely energy. I think I would love this woman if she was here with us. Like she would be a very good friend of mine. I love her energy. I do. So she's very thankful. She loves that she's gotten all this attention lately. She absolutely does. She loves attention. She's laughing. She's like, yeah, I never hid that. I loved attention because she says that's the most love I've ever felt.
Yeah.
And she does, and she says that she feels completely fulfilled, and she does not have any guilt for giving readings to these people because she said they were real readings. She did not, unlike what people are saying in the documentary too, she wasn't telling them what they wanted to hear. She was telling them what they needed to know.
Yes.
And she said she did help people. No, they can't deny that. People can't deny that.
I don't think she would have been as memorable.
I agree.
Memorable or whatever if she wasn't. You know what I mean? Because there's so many of them that came and went, like the Psychic Network, the Psychic Friends, Dionne Warwick. I mean, everyone was just.
I agree. So she's very, very thankful. She loves that. She's complimenting us now. She's loving the channel. She's loving us. She's a sweetheart. Yeah. So she said she'll be back. She'll be back, and we will know. She said, okay, the younger generation will, if they know who Miss Cleo is, she says it will click in the future when she reincarnates and she becomes famous and goes on TV and she starts doing all that stuff that she's planning to do for the collective, right? To help the collective. Some people will be able to, the more intuitive, they will be able to recognize that that's her.
Wow.
From the energy, from the, that's wonderful. What does Jeff say? Yeah, Jeff is a Leo, so he's loving it now because we're all like Leos.
Of course, darling. He's a star.
They all are. Leos were born stars, that's for sure. And beautiful, with beautiful hair, too.
That's why they're the king of the jungle.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rita, as well, for being here.
Yeah, thank you to everyone.
Thank you all.
Miss Cleo.
Thank you, Miss Cleo. I'm just sending her off right now. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. She's off. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Also, don't forget, what do you want us to talk about next week? Don't forget to let us know. Send us your DMs. Send us your emails. Let us know. Comment down below as well. Don't forget to like the video, by the way.
Absolutely.
And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe too. And we'll be back next Sunday with another live. And it's definitely going to be.
Thank you, Natalie. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. Till next time. Bye.
Bye.